Hey, my name is Ethan Smith. I just want to apologize in advance for not doing my presentation in person, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to do it over this video. I hope you accept it. If not, I completely understand. But today I'm doing my presentation on revenue for the athletic program. First, the problem is the revenue between each team isn't distributed evenly. The revenue comes from the income that the school gets on enrollment. So whenever students enroll, a portion of that comes or goes to the athletic department overall, and each team has a set budget. The significance of this problem is that when teams don't get enough money, there's a loss in athletic program productivity. My first alternative is I think we should get revenue from the alumni and donors. A stat is in 2013, excuse me, U.S. higher education institutions raised nearly $34 billion in donations just from alumni and donors. With just a portion of the donations going to the athletic department, I think it'll help, the programs tremendously. Just individual sports, like for example, before basketball games, there's a dinner on stage outlooking the court, and a portion of that dinner revenue goes towards the athletic, or goes towards basketball. And just the cost of this would just be a small portion of the total revenue that the school gets going towards the athletic department. Alternative number 2 is revenue strictly from ticket sales. Revenue from the ticket sales and concessions could go towards that particular team that day. And but a possible problem with this is, some teams and some programs don't generate enough ticket sales. For example, like softball and baseball usually generate a lot of tickets, and programs such as the rifle team or sometimes soccer team, they don't get as nearly many ticket sales, and so sometimes it wouldn't be distributed evenly that way. But with this alternative, it would be easy to see which team the money was going to, and the cost of this would be zero, but the distribution of the money would be a little bit more uneven because, like I said before, some teams generate more ticket sales and generate more concession money and t-shirt money and things like that. The last alternative I have is to combine the revenue of all the sports programs. This alternative will combine all the revenue from each individual sport and distribute it evenly throughout the entire athletic department. This would ensure that teams would be getting treated fairly. Each team is getting funds that they need. And overall, teams are going to want to perform better, perform more. And, it would be a combination of all the alternatives I had. Combination of the donations from alumni and donors, combination of all the ticket sales, combination of all the concession sales, t-shirts, extra things like that. But I add in there just an exception to this would be, if a team, for example, like I said earlier, softball, they just won the national championship this past year. With that they're obviously going to generate more money because people are going to want to come see them and buy national championship gear like that. But because they won a national championship, I think they should be excluded for that portion. I think regular season games, stuff like that, should be distributed evenly. But when a team gets national coverage or makes it far in the tournament and wins a national championship, bringing in the school more money from national coverage and things like that, I think they should get excluded just for that portion of this alternative. In conclusion, I think a strong and solid athletic program has proven over the years to be beneficial to colleges and universities. With big sports programs and athletic programs, I think it brings in more students, brings in more excitement to the university, and I think in general it just brings in more money to the university. And like I said, with a good sports program, it can give schools national coverage. Like, for example, this past year, softball and baseball were both aired on ESPN, and we had Make-A-Wish programs all over the place. And just because softball won the national championship and baseball had a good year last year as well, it brought University of North Georgia national coverage. So that Intel brought more money to the school. But I recommend that we do alternative three. That's combining all the revenue of the sports program in order to evenly distribute the money. And in the end, excuse me, it'll help each program out, distribute the money evenly, and in the end, every program's going to be happy. Every program's going to give forth their best effort, and I think it'll put the school out in national coverage sometimes, and bring in more fans. In the end, it'll help the school overall. Thank you.